This collection of stories from the tea plantations of South India is a fascinating journey back to a forgotten era. Colonial rule has ended, and the British have left behind a nation of tea producers and tea drinkers. Charming anecdotes from the transitional period are presented, showcasing archaic rituals alongside the pranks of the high spirited young men privileged to have inherited them. This book takes you deep into pristine jungles where you will meet chevrotain, hornbills, and panthers, and rural areas where people catch snakes, perform black magic, and identify thieves using fascinating traditional methods. Sometimes politically incorrect, sometimes verging on controversy, always thought provoking. Who would ever imagine that all this could possibly go into the making of that staple of our daily lives, a simple cup of tea? The clip you're going to now see was part of the Sunday lockdown book events conducted by the Book Club, Pune, on the 21st of June 2020. The authors, Ravindran and Saaz Aggarwal, presented photographs and discussed events in their book, An Elephant Kissed My Window. Contributors to the book, Dennis Main, Carolyn Hollis, and Ravi Savoor, were present at the occasion and also shared some of their memories. This is actually an endangered species. Ravi, will you tell us? I've requested Ravindran to tell us about some of the animal encounters he had as a planter.
Okay, so it's not all ghosts on estate bungalows. There are some very tender and caring moments, as you can see on your screen. Now, this is a very, very timid animal called chevrotain. It's commonly referred to as mouse deer. They are very innocent animals, and they, in wildlife terms, it falls under the category extant taxon, which means it is not extinct, but it's on its way to becoming extinct. So even 50 years ago, sightings were not very common. And what is surprising, these things grow to about 1 foot high. Although the picture shows you a very big animal, it's actually a 1 foot high to about 1.5 feet. It can weigh anything from 1 kilo, an adult, to a maximum of about 7 to 8 kilograms. And they're very special. They like to live under canopy, and they wean off their young when they are 3 months old. Such a weak animal, but that's the way nature has made them, whatever it is. So the story is once again in High Forest Bungalow, which Carolyn and Dennis spoke about. And of course, Saas's father, Mr. Saur, was my manager, but that wasn't possible. So all of us have passed through that bungalow, which is in the Moody's in Annamalai. So one evening, I was sitting and having a cup of tea in my bungalow, in the High Forest Bungalow. It was a very cold evening. I was sitting and reading near the fireplace. And as Carolyn said, I could also hear somebody tiptoeing. But it never crossed my mind that it could be a ghost. It was a very gentle animal, and that was the chevrotain. It came very, very tentatively and with very, very hesitant terms, and it very slowly it came and sniffed around, unmindful of my presence. It came into the living room where I was sitting. It could see me. It could see me very much, but it kept on kind of sniffing every object around. It has a very moist snout, as you can see. So that is its sensory organ with the whiskers that it has. Went around. Obviously, it has come both because it was very cold outside and maybe it was hungry. So the first instinct for me was to give it something to eat. And I only had a bottle of rum, which, as you know, that is not good for deers to have rum. So I asked my cook Armugam whether he has anything to eat, and he quickly brought some carrots and some cabbage and some vegetables from what is called as a meat safe. As you know, those days fridges were not very popular, as Dennis was saying. So he brought a few vegetables and we placed it near the doorway, and we said we must give him his privacy, and went away. The mouse deer obviously came and nibbled at all of them, walked around, made himself comfortable for I don't know how long. And by morning, he left the place as gently as he came, but not before depositing a whole lot of droppings on the carpet, just to say thank you. And this is the story.
And this is Ravindran and me in the last stage of production of the book at my home in Pune on the 4th of September 2019. Far away, high up on top of these gentle blue hills, tea is grown. It's a beautiful, surreal world, and the people who live here lead isolated lives under brilliant skies, immersed in pure air and surrounded by jungles in which animals roam. Some of their stories will make you laugh, some will fascinate you. And by the time you've finished enjoying them, you will find that you've become more knowledgeable not just about how tea is made, but also the history of how tea became the most popular drink in the world.